The Meddlesome Meeples present the Quest Report with Matt and Richard.
And on this Quest Report, we're going to be talking about yet another Kickstarter, this time British versus Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a naval-themed miniatures combat game.
Yep.
Designed for 2 players, though you can expand that to more players quite easily. And it's, first of all, I'm going to say something positive about the game.
And then you're going to wail on it.
And then I'm going to wail on it later. No, I'm not going to wail on this game at all. I want to say how beautiful the artwork is on this game. Whether it's on the tiles, the cards, the miniatures themselves look great.
Yeah.
Although some of the miniatures in the box didn't arrive right.
Yeah, that's another thing. But on the cards, it's great, isn't it? There's a picture of each ship. Because they're all specific ships, these cards are. So, yeah, it's really nice.
Each one's got unique artwork on the ship card. Each one's got unique names. They've got their own stats. They're quite interesting. I would say I love the artwork. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. Whether you're looking at the British ships, the pirate ships, and also I say you get captain cards. So you get a ship for your faction. You get a captain for your faction. Now, if you're playing 2 players, you get 2 ships. More than that, you get 1 ship and 1 captain each. And each captain will have their own stats that may affect boarding combat. They may give you a boost to defense or to attack. They give you, depending on the kind of ship size that you've put them on, bonuses to accuracy, to speed, to all sorts of different things. And that, again, is quite interesting because you want to match up the right captain with the right ship.
Well, if you've got the right size ship, you get a bonus, don't you?
That's right.
But other than that, the captain's basically, if you go in close to do some, like, boarding, that's captain versus captain. It doesn't really matter what ship you're on at that point, does it? Yeah.
No. Once you're there, it's captain versus captain. But it is, and there are some interesting elements to this game. I quite liked, like you said, the whole idea of getting your ship into the right position, the right distance to fire against another ship.
Yes.
I like that kind of manoeuvring aspect.
It felt
to it.
like you were manoeuvring sailing ships,
Yeah.
rather than it just being a normal combat game with like a ship aesthetic to it. It did actually feel like you had to sail them forwards basically, and then shoot sideways. So, yeah.
Mechanically, we thought this was quite simple to learn, didn't we?
Quite simple, yes. Yeah.
It's the strategy, as I say, of trying to plan where your ship's going to be, how to make the most out of your manoeuvring. That was interesting. What for me, I felt let the game down was the boarding. I like that you could try and board an enemy ship.
Because I kept doing that to you, didn't I?
Well, I started it.
Yeah.
I started it. I think I did a bad roll or something like that.
Yeah.
But the boarding, once 2 ships come together, and once you're side by side with another ship, you can do a boarding action. Now, with a boarding action, you are rolling a dice, adding on morale, and whether your captain's got grapple or repel. But it's so heavily weighted by the morale that once the first person loses, it's almost impossible to come back from.
Because they lose all their morale.
Yeah.
And the other one gains maximum morale. So then the next boarding action, they're going to win.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that is what happened.
Yeah, and it's very difficult then to do anything. And it didn't really feel, like we said with the manoeuvring of the ships, it felt like you were moving a ship. When it came to the boarding, I didn't really feel like I was trying to board another ship.
Yeah, that did feel actually like you were doing just a game mechanic. Really.
Yeah. It didn't feel that thematic. Now, you do get some interesting cards that you can use, which will boost things like ship combat, speed, things like that, which you can play to do that.
Repair the ship.
Provided that you've got morale to spend to do that, because you have to spend morale to play these cards. Some of them are free.
Yeah.
But for most of them, you have to spend morale. But as I say, that is so important when it comes to things like boarding that it's quite a decision there as to whether you want to spend it for to play these cards, or whether you want to keep it in case you get boarded. I don't know. For me, the game just felt a little flat.
Mm-hmm.
I say I like that manoeuvring side of it, and I love the artwork.
Mm-hmm.
The artwork on this, full credit for that. And I like the way you're keeping track of things with dice, because with all your different ship stats, you have starting ship stats which you put your dice down for. I like the fact that you've got to shoot past those outer armour, whether it be port, starboard, stern or bow, to try and get to the main structure of the ship and do damage.
Yeah.
That I liked as well.
And once one of them goes to 0, your ship gets like a penalty, doesn't it?
Well, it just means that you can't roll that dice for it. You still get your +4 defense, but you can't roll a dice.
Well, yeah, but hidden underneath the die. Once the
oh, right,
dice
sorry,
is gone,
yeah, you get...
Like, if your starboard's gone, it says starboard cannons cannot shoot. If the back bit gets destroyed, then the pivot is reduced to 1. Stuff like that.
Yeah, so, and again, I like that. That fits well with the theme.
Yeah.
It just... I think the boarding just fell flat. And I don't know, it just... It didn't feel like it was massively fun.
Well,
I think...
I'm not a fan of these types of games, but I thought for what it was, I did enjoy it. I thought it was good for what it does.
I think as a light game,
yeah,
it did work.
Mm-hmm.
Mechanically, it worked. And again, and I've said this before, but I'll say this again. If I'd found this as a kid, I would probably have been playing this in my early teens. Loads.
A lot of what we do is like for the child in Matt.
Yeah. There's a fat kid in me trying to get out.
Oh no.
That sounds weird.
It does sound weird, yeah.
I shan't say that anymore. But as I say, this does feel like a game that I would have really enjoyed a long, long time ago. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't feel, although it works, it just didn't feel fun. Even when I was doing quite high amounts of damage to your ship, I didn't think, okay, yeah, I've done this. I've got this this side of the ship gone. It was just, oh, okay, we're taking this dice off. It just, I don't know, somehow it just lacked that engrossing feel or an immersive feel that I wanted from it. But as I say, I think if you'd put too much more into it, you'd have lost the light combat mechanic that the game was going for.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, as a combat game, I thought it did quite well because, like we say, the manoeuvrability and everything, and the direction of the wind as well, I thought was quite good.
The way that affected your ship speed and
that's it. Yeah, because it's like you can get to a certain place and then think I'll turn around here and then I'll have the wind behind me, so I can like go on the attack. I thought that was quite good.
I like that aspect of it, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite well themed, I thought. So, yeah, so that was good. Yeah, but like I say, it's just it is just a combat game, really, isn't it? So it kind of does what it does.
Yeah. I think when I was researching the game designer had originally planned a mechanic where once 2 ships had come together and there'd been a boarding action, they had to then break off after that first one.
Yes.
I think that would have improved the boarding side of it, but even so, I still feel like it was just a bit flat on that boarding element, because effectively when you board, you're rolling a dice to see who's going to win that grapple and repel battle, and then whoever wins that, whoever loses that, you're taking 1 off the structure straight away, and your structure's only 6, so that's a massive amount of damage that's done there.
Yeah.
And if you can't break away from that, perhaps, then you really are gonna lose very quickly. But again, it's only meant to be a quick game, so
yeah,
you take all that into account.
Yeah, but you don't want to spend the whole time just being boarded all the time because there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, even if it is a quick game, then that's not so fun. Because like I spent more time on your ship than I did on mine.
I think
but yeah,
but I don't know. It was mechanically, apart from that aspect, it wasn't bad. It just, I couldn't get excited about it. After about 20 minutes, I was just waiting for the game to end.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Kind of.
I just and I like ship games. As I say, the artwork was beautiful. it just failed to be fun.
Yeah. Well, I think if somebody wants a game about like pirate ships versus other ships and something being that kind of era naval combat, then I think this is a very good one to go for. So yeah, but it's just we're not really looking for that, I suppose. Neither of us.
I liked the idea of the game, and I thought, it would be really great to have a fun ship combat. But you know, I've played other games which I've enjoyed more, that sort of light battle mechanic. And I don't know, with this, I just didn't feel like I was having fun, and I wanted to like this game, not just because I'd bought it. Because if I buy a game and I don't like it, you know, somebody will. But I just wanted to like it because it looked so good.
Right.
You know, it looks so beautiful. I mean, the artwork and everything is amazing on this game.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get into it and get myself thinking, oh yeah, this is great, and you know, oh brilliant, I'm lining up for another broadside. I wanted to be so excited about that. I wanted to roll a dice and get that broadside and go, oh yes, I've done this amount of damage to his ship. You know. Yeah. And even when I was doing damage to your ship, it was like, okay, I've rolled some dice and you've adjusted that dice on your card over there. Okay, now you're going to move and roll some dice, and I'm going to adjust this dice over here. It just felt like it lacked, although mechanically, I say, apart from the boarding action, it was fine. It just lacked that fun element to me. Yeah. And so I don't feel I can recommend this game.
No, yeah.
I'm not saying that it's inherently a bad game. No. I say mechanically everything works, everything's there, with the exception of the boarding, which you could easily house rule.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel like fun.
I just don't recommend combat games in general, really. You know, there's so many more interesting types of games out there. So, but if you are into that and you want something kind of Navy themed, then I did enjoy this more than I thought I would, but then I wasn't really expecting to enjoy it, so I don't know. I don't recommend it either, unless this is you've been looking for something with like ship combat, in which case this is I think this is a pretty good one to go for.
I do think though, I mean, I don't regret buying it because, as I say, I like the artwork and I like the ships. And I like the miniature ships, and I could probably put them into other games or whatever. Mm-hmm. Although it did annoy me that the ships that I got weren't the right ships. We were looking at the components and what kind of ships you were meant to get.
I wonder if that may have
got too many of some and not enough of others.
Maybe in our problem. We might have done that wrong.
No, we definitely did, because I looked at it again later. Oh. I need to get in touch with the maker about it and put that and see if I can get the replacement.
Right.
But although if you've seen this, he might not want to send them me. So there we go. This is British versus Pirates. I cannot recommend this, but I will say it is a beautiful game.
Yeah, I recommend looking at this game.
Buy this game for the child in you.
Farewell, Quester. To find out about other productions by the Meddlesome Meeples, then check out our channel or rendezvous with us at meddlesomemeeples.com. Until next time, Quester, farewell and keep thine axe sharp.